Hi everyone, Katya Martinova, your empowerment coach and energy healer here. And I am here with another Akashic Records reading for the collective today. So I was thinking earlier today and wondering what I should ask. And I think what a lot of us are struggling with is avoiding what I call beating ourselves up with a metaphorical stick. It's so hard for so many people to not judge ourselves, not to constantly feel like there's something wrong with us, and just be happy with where we are at in life and the way that we are. And so I wanted to do this Akashic Records reading and ask for guidance on this topic. And let's see what will come through. So as always, I will say a quick prayer to open the Akashic Records. All you need to do is to listen, tune in, and receive what resonates. And then I'll ask a question. How can we, as a collective, stop beating ourselves up with a metaphorical stick? How can we stop judging ourselves, feeling guilty, feeling shameful, feeling like there's something wrong? Please show me. And then I'll just tell you what comes through. And the more we go into it, the more the puzzle pieces will start coming together nicely. Well, right away, I saw a circular motion. It's almost like when you see a dog chase its own tail. So this is what I'm being shown as the pattern that we tend to fall into. So what we're being shown is that it's just a pattern that we at some point picked up. And it's just what our brain does just because it's familiar, it's a habit, and it's very hard to snap out of it. So it's what we know, it's what we're used to, and this is just how, as a reflex, we do when something goes wrong, when something doesn't feel right. We just start going in this circle and just kind of get lost in our own thoughts, our own judgments. And I'm feeling a lot of healing energy coming through for the collective to heal this. So what can we do to break out of this cycle? What is the best guidance to stop this pattern? What I'm seeing is just visualize when this happens next time or when you are analyzing a situation that just happened, and visualize yourself like a little person going in a circle like that. And then all of a sudden that little person that is you steps out into the center. So, if the circle is here, you step into the center, outside of this motion, this movement. And I'm almost seeing like, you just stand up like this and you observe. So you start observing. That's interesting. I've never realized this before, that I do this, that I think this way. And then you ask yourself, is this the only way to think about this situation or this type of situation, about this particular situation? Is this really the only way to interpret it and see how much surprising clarity will come out of that. What else would you recommend to us as a collective to break this pattern, to stop beating ourselves up with this metaphorical stick? What can we do to step out of this pattern? Another piece of guidance that's coming through. I love that the reason why I close my eyes when I do readings is because I'm a visual person, so it's easier for me to see initially when I'm receiving information from the Akashic records. And what I am seeing is a little person, again, that is you, the viewer, that is all of us. We just, I see that little person doing, what is it called? Skip rope, jump rope. So the idea, the symbolism of it is just start doing something else. Don't give it power. Don't give it attention. Don't give it control over your feelings, emotions. So that's twofold. And it's interesting that this is coming through because this is what I was talking about in my master class a couple of weeks ago about how when we experience a certain negative thing, firstly, we go into this pattern of judging ourselves or feeling bad about feeling a certain way or saying a certain thing. But then it's happened. But then another thing we do is we get lost in the after effect of it. Like, the situation happened, certain things happened, but then the biggest thing that happens is actually it happens after the fact, when we spend minutes and days and weeks going back to that situation, going back to what happened, and we relive it. And again, we give it more energy, we give it more attention, we're looking at it through the magnifying glass. So it's very important when you do that, because there's definitely a lot of benefit in that, because you can kind of dissect the situation, and you can understand why things happened the way it did. So there's definitely a lot of useful insight there. But it's also very important to not engage in that emotion that was evoked initially, and not to start again feeling bad or guilty or whatever it might be. So it's very important to not kind of double down on it. What is the final piece of advice for us as a collective? To stop falling into this pattern of beating ourselves up with this metaphorical stick when situations get out of control and we feel like there's something that's going wrong. I'm seeing the person, who experienced the situation, which could be any and all of us. They are just sitting there and pondering. What are we pondering? What would be helpful? I see. Okay. So what I'm sensing is when this person who just experienced a certain situation, could be you, could be me, could be anyone who is watching, they just sit and ponder. And the feeling when we do that is this feeling of quiet sadness, I want to call it, which means that it's almost like you mourn the situation without reliving it, because then you get closure, and that closure will give you peace. That closure will mean that you will no longer come back to that situation. That situation will not put you back into that loop, never-ending loop you mourn, because it's very important to mourn anything bad that happens to us, to give it time, to give it attention, but it's different from giving it attention in the way that I was describing earlier, but giving it space for it to finalize and be done forever. So I hope you see the difference. So the guidance here is to, when something happens, to think back on it without getting involved into it emotionally, and for that you'll need intention, and you'll need belief that you can do it, and there's no need to go back and re-engage in that whole thing. But also mourn it. Mourn how you felt, how the other person or people felt, how the situation unfolded. Just accept it for what it is, because when we mourn, it means that we accept that it happened, and it happened in this certain way. Wow, this is powerful. Okay, so I'm going to close the Akashic Records now. Thank you so much. There's still a lot of healing energy coming through. So as long as you don't have to do anything, but just be open to receiving that healing energy, and it will be very helpful in being able to handle these kinds of situations differently. And I really thank you for watching, because this is a new thing that I am doing, and I am so excited because I've been feeling for such a long time that I want to go bigger and expand my reach. And definitely leave me a comment with what questions you would like me to ask in the Akashic Records for my next videos. Thank you so much.